it's just a nice little unit. So if you're looking to just kind of level up your game a little bit, this is the Ensonore. When COVID hit in 2020, I'd already been on the hunt for a really good, affordable video conferencing solution. And there's really like not a lot in the market. And people are trying to break into it now, but I get the feeling that maybe it's expensive to develop to make it really, good, because I still don't see a lot of really affordable units in the market. You can buy the little cameras on their own, but then you need the microphones, and you might have the little microphone, but you need the speaker, and you might have one of the 2-in-1 speaker microphones, but they are sometimes challenged with not only dual speak, what we call dual speak in the room, but also that kind of duplex experience where when the audio comes through, the microphone cuts out for a second while it figures out what to do, and then it comes to life again. And so you have those stuttery conversations, which is like super frustrating. So we'll talk about some of the more expensive units like the eMeet Capsule that's just come out, which is super impressive, in probably the next video actually. But for this one, we're talking about what I think is a really great, almost like personal solution, kind of, I think, really designed for one, which sits beautifully on the top of your monitor. You can put it on the back of your laptop as well, but it does particularly well on an external monitor. This is the Ensonore, and I read it every time because I keep going Ensonore. So the Ensonore from Enfokus is an all-in-one conference cam for you. And the cool thing about this is it's got built-in AI. So it actually kind of tracks where you are and kind of tries to automatically crop and zoom the frame to make you look even better, right? Who doesn't want to look even better? And you can turn it off if you don't like it. It's quite a cool little unit. It is super easy, plug and play. I'm just going to hold up another light on the front there so you can see the LXM, which is actually the model number. And I'll just talk about that. So you can see the speaker there. And then on this side, we've got 4 microphones. You can see those little 4 dots. So what's quite cool is that the speaker and the microphones are separated completely. So when you look at this, you might say, well, hold the phone. Where's the camera? What is this trickery that you're doing? But I know that you can see this is the camera. So when you open it, listen for this.
Auto framing paused.
Okay, so it's on, and see the little red dot? It means that it's not looking at you. And on the back here, we've got this little button. Now this is the AI button. So auto framing, I think, was on.
Auto framing off.
Auto framing is off. Now it'll go on.
Auto framing on.
And then it'll
auto framing paused.
Yeah, so you got paused, off, and on. So that is the auto framing where the camera will absolutely zoom in on you, and then
camera off.
And I quite like that. You know, when you're in a conference meeting, not that any of you would do this, and you know, you've just had a call and then you want to do a debrief on it, and maybe you don't want to say a lot of nice things about the call. It's just good to know that
auto framing, camera off.
That you hear that and you're like, right, safe. Not that I would ever do that or you would ever do that. So how about a few little tech specs? Well, it's a 2-watt speaker, which is loud enough. You've got the 4 microphones that I've already mentioned. It's a USB 2 cable, but it is capable of 2K at 30 frames per second, which means it should look pretty good. It's compatible with basically Windows 7 and up, and you know, any of the new Mac OS that are operating today, no problem. And the cool thing, as I said earlier, is that it is plug and play. There's no drivers for this thing. You plug it in, you make sure you set your settings to this device, and I'll show you how to do that in Mac at least, and then you're good to go. The resolution is 2560 by 1440, that 2K, and it kind of streams in H.264 or MJPEG. So why don't we have a quick look at how to set the settings on your Mac to use this when you plug it in, and then we'll actually do like a fake call together with me calling me. So for this demonstration, I am actually going to use the actual camera of the Ensonore. So what you see on the screen here is that on my Loom. So let's make that a little bit bigger. Hi everybody. I've got of course I've got bright lights from all my monitors shining on my glasses, which is horrendous, but hey, what do you think of the picture? All right, let's just shrink that down a little bit. So this is where you find where to set what you're doing to this one. So come up to your Apple icon, click on System Settings, that'll open up just like magic. Now what you can do here is you can set the audio output, if you want, to this device, which is the USB speakerphone, and you can set the input, which is going to be the microphone, also to the USB microphone. Now at the moment I'm still using this mic, but we will switch to this mic when we do the demonstration. But that's how you will set it up on your computer for that. And when you do in Google Meet, or whatever you're going to use, and I think we'll do a demo in Google Meet because I just think it's the easiest tool out there, you will select the camera for your video as well. So that's how you set the settings for the audio in and out if you want it, but you probably don't want it out. You might want it out, right? Because then you've got the, yeah, do it. Now, when I look at the camera up the front here, it's got the little green lamp. So I'm just gonna take that off and freak you all out on the loom.
Auto framing on.
Hold that up there. All right, so that's my camera looking at me and this camera looking at you.
Auto framing on.
Right, so I'm going to leave the auto framing on for now, and you can see there that it's zooming in on me. It's like, okay, this is the only dude in the room. I can see his face. So if I move, in theory, it should be able to pick up that I've moved and move to find me. And that's kind of what you want, right? So if you're, again, I don't think there's enough. I think it's 120-degree vision. And so it takes a little while for this thing to follow you, but it does get there. It's not immediate, but I haven't found an AI camera in the boardroom or for video conferencing that does it much faster than that at the moment. Pretty cool stuff, right? So let's do a Google Meet call to me. Now, a couple of quick things before the call that I should mention. The first is there is a manual, but it's kind of pretty straightforward. Like, it'll tell you where the AI touch key is, where the camera is, where the cable goes, and you plug and play. So, you know, it's simple to use, so I'm not being flippant. I just don't think you need it. And the cool thing is that obviously there's a few ways to mount this. It can just kind of sit flat a little bit on the thing. It can obviously open up and clip onto the back of your tablet, and then you just kind of, or your computer screen or your monitor, and you kind of push that in to secure it, which is what I was just doing. Or you can actually mount it on a stand. Now that could be a little stand like this, and you'd screw it on instead of dropping it, and hey presto. Or it could be a big, thing if you wanted to put it in the middle of a room. There's no reason you can't use this in a room with other people at all. I just think it makes a better personal device. So I just wanted to clarify those bits before we do the call. So I think I've got it right. This picture that you're seeing is coming from the Ensonore camera. And I'm just going to call it Ensonore from now because it's way cooler. So what you're hearing is the full microphone array that's getting picked up by the Ensonore. So what you're hearing is and seeing in this frame is coming out of the Ensonore. So there's a couple of things you can do, obviously just manually. You can kind of pull it down a little bit there. Oh, got a little bit of the frame in, just to kind of guide it. Now this is sitting up on top of my laptop, which is on a stand. So of course you can have it anywhere you want. So what I'll do is I'll leave it up and then we'll hit the AI. So the auto framing is off right now. And we'll turn it on. Obviously, I've just done a little manual adjustment, and the speakers, the audio that's coming back through from Gaza that I've heard, because I've lowered the volume a little bit, it is really quite rich and quite full for a 2-watt speaker. It's definitely quite nice. You don't want to have it too loud, so just watch that the volume output on your laptop isn't too high, so it kind of distorts out. Once you bring that volume down, it's really quite pleasant. So I'll turn the auto framing on, and then you can see kind of what it does intelligently. So as I'm talking now, on mine, you can see I've got a blue screen that's saying, okay, auto framing's on, boom, there you go, it's zoomed in and it's found me. And then I can probably do that little thing again, or if I move to the side, the camera will eventually kind of zoom out and go, man, where did you go? So it's got that 120-degree field of view. Is it gonna follow me over here? Yes, there you go. So it's kind of a way, I guess, if you just kind of want to push back every now and again and you don't want to have to reframe yourself, that you can let the AI do all of the work. Now, I expect that when it zooms in too far, you're going to have some loss of quality. But, you know, from what I can see on the screen here, it was definitely a lot clearer at full frame. But I think if you were looking at it on a small screen, then what you'd be seeing would be absolutely fine. Anyway, you can be the judge of that. This is for a MacBook Pro 14-inch, and the Gaza is on an iPad Pro somewhere overseas, having a good chat, catching up for the holidays, you know. So that's the Ensonore LX-MT001 all-in-one conference cam, perfect for home. Does the AI tracking if you want to be like uber cool on your calls, which is based on the face recognition. It's got DSP and it's got double talk, which is where when two people in the room talk at the same time, often it cuts out one, so it helps reduce that. Hardware is fine, clips on really nicely. The fact that you can close the camera I like. The audio sounds nice, just make sure you don't have it too loud. The 4-speaker array, well, you know, we've just done the test, so you've heard what it sounds like. But overall, it's you know, it's just a nice little unit. So if you're looking to just kind of level up your game a little bit, maybe you want something that you can position slightly differently around you. You want a better microphone setup that you've got on your PC or your Mac or whatever you're using at the moment. You may not even have a camera, especially if you've got a desktop tower or something like that. So tell me what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. I hope you're doing well and having a good season. It's really hot here. I don't know what it is where you are, probably freezing cold according to the weather report in North America right now, but I'll be there in a couple of days. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.